There you are. Rich is here.
Yeah, hi, okay. Are we there?
Yeah, you're here.
I here?
Yep, you're here. You're here with us.
Okay, good. No, the first time I used right.
Okay. Okay. What was that?
I said the first time I used it, I had to download it. I had to download. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. You're just breaking up a little bit, but I'm sure that's just a connection issue. Are you able to hear me, Richard?
Yes, I hear right now. Yes, I do.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So what's going to happen is we are already broadcasting live, so that's okay. But I still have to start the radio part of the show.
Let me close some of these things here.
Okay.
Oh, well, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So what were you saying?
Yeah, I was saying that we're already broadcasting live on the TV part of this. I just have to oh, Richard, did he go away?
Okay.
Okay, you're back.
Yeah, it's just doing being silly.
Okay.
I don't know what it's doing. Are we good?
Yeah, I can hear you clear.
Okay. Can you see me? Okay.
I can also see you okay too.
Okay. Fine. Then okay. Where do we go from here?
Okay, so so what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and start the recording on the radio part of this because
All
they
right.
need to be able to hear us through the radio as well. So we're going to be streaming here, but also our voices will be projected and broadcasted on the radio station too.
Okay. But I can just hang
Okay.
out here with you and work, right?
Yep. Yeah. So just hang out and once we are officially started, you'll hear the theme music come on, and then after that, I'm going to come in and introduce the show, and then I'll introduce you.
Great. Great. Okay. We're getting it going here, guy.
Fabulous.
All right.
It's good. It's
Cool.
good to see you.
I can see you too, bro.
Okay.
Okay.
Put you in a second here.
All right. All right. And hopefully this will keep working right. It's being a little bit persnickety.
Yeah. That's absolutely normal.
Yeah, I know. All right.
Yeah, it's technology here. We.
Am I right? I look okay? Is my background okay and everything?
Oh yeah, you're perfect. You're golden.
Okay, good, good, yeah, cool. I got can I talk while you're doing this?
Yeah, sure. I'll let you know when you can.
Yeah. No, I got all right, cool. Yeah. Oh man. I try to tell my friends on Facebook to join us, but I don't know if they're gonna do it or not.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see them come in if they happen to catch you.
Yeah, I am in Galveston, Texas, so I belong to like a Galveston Talk, and I got a bunch of friends there. I told them, to come hang out with me, but I don't know if they're going to or not.
Okay.
But we'll see. There's a lot of people though.
So you are on Facebook, Richard?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. Yeah, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Galveston Talk, Galveston.
Hello?
Yeah, hi. What's happening?
Okay, I think you froze up a little bit.
It says your it says I got a problem. It says your network connection is experiencing difficulties. Check your connectivity. Should be all right though.
Okay, yeah, it's just probably slowing up. That's fine. And what I'm doing right now, we are a little bit behind, but that's okay. I'm just setting up our sound on
Okay,
for the radio station, and
right.
as soon as that's done loading and streaming us in, we'll get started. Okay.
That's cool. I'm cool. I'm just having my coffee.
Okay.
So where are you? Where are you now? Where are
I, I'm broadcasting from Wisconsin, right in Milwaukee. I think you. Okay, Richard.
you? Yeah,
Okay.
I'm back.
Okay. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah. Oh, you're good now. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Where you broadcasting from?
Galveston, Texas. Galveston,
Texas?
Texas. There have been storms here. It's been thunderstorms here, so maybe that's also doing it.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, Richard. About really almost. So we got
And where are you? Where are you now? Where are you located?
Wisconsin.
Oh, Wisconsin.
Yep.
Where the state bird is the mosquito, right?
What's that?
Where the state bird is the mosquito. That's what they say,
uh,
right? That's what they say, right? You got the big ones there, right?
yeah, yeah, yep. That's the first I heard anybody say that in a long time.
Yeah, right. Well, that's just something I remember.
Okay. All right. So we getting ready here. So just type it in.
Yeah, I'm just getting started now. Like I said, I've been staying under the radar for the last 10 years. That's some really
Nice.
interesting stories.
Well, we about to get you back rolling and get you out here again.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Definitely. I got a lot to talk about. I got the 3 books right here. See? You see this?
Okay.
Is this one? This is my first baby,
Uh,
right?
nice.
3 books right here. My second one. You might want to discuss why I call the elements of heaven. There was a reason why I call the elements. It's interesting
Okay.
that came up when I wrote my first book with the I got really some amazing stories about how this all came
Okay.
about. Yeah. And it's been
Okay. Well,
what?
okay. Didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right.
Yep, we about to get rolling here. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Theme music coming on, and
If it cuts out, just hang in and I'll come back in, all right?
hello, my people, my people, my people, and welcome to another episode of Transform You Live Show. And this time we are exclusive. We are on live TV right now. We are streaming right into YouTube Live, and this very same video will be available on the YouTube playlist on my channel. And also, you will be able to access this same video and same recording of this interview segment on transformubroadcast.com. That's transform the letter U broadcast.com. There you'll find all of my world leading experts of friends. You know, I have a lot of experts that's on that part of that community. It's a growing trending community right now. We also have many of their friends there and many of my own friends that are there too. So bring your friends along, bring yourself along, and we can all be friends and share in the love and spread the content and just benefit from this awesome information that's being delivered straight from the mouths of the experts themselves. Yes, themselves. So we have a very special guest that's on with us. And you know what's very special about this show is you'll be able to see this same special guest, you know, right away, right live, right now, and that's special. It's just a privilege to be able to have, you know, awesome people who's doing awesome things in the community and in this world that's just ready to just deliver and share right into your minds and right into your hearts and right into your spirits. So the expert we have on has recently completed a trilogy. He is an author. He's a poet at heart, and he's just the type of person you just want to connect with. So without further ado, let's hear it for Richard
Widry.
Widry. Can you say the last name for me again?
Widry.
Widry. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much. You know, I'm the type of guy that butcher your last name sometimes.
I have a hard time pronouncing it myself sometimes, so don't worry about it.
Okay, awesome, Richard. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know I have said a few things, but let's hear from your own words.
Well, I mean, it would be a long story to get into everything, but I started writing poetry when I was 9 years old. I got inspired, and I never stopped. I've been writing my entire life, all through adolescence, all through the those very heady days of the hippie days, and in 2000, I guess it was 2002, I published my first book, and it's been about over a decade for me to finish the trilogy. The title of the books are The Elements of Heaven, and the idea of this elements was came when I was first writing this first book. I had hooked up with a PhD in Princeton, and she was in a very rarefied field called ontology, which is the nature of beingness. And we were
Right.
talking about the actual fundamental aspects of reality. And in that, the conversation came that if there were elements, actual elements of heaven, they would be love, light, and life. If you could just imagine an element, like a quark, an element
Yeah.
of light and life, and that would be heaven. So we like that, and that's why it's the elements of heaven.
Nice. So like 9 years old is when you started into poetry. Wow, that's truly amazing. So, you know, and I'm reading on your background here, and it says that, you know, in many of your trilogies, you know, there's this tying together of spirituality and psychology. Where does the spiritual aspect of it come in at?
Well, the spirit, well, they merged, but what happened was, what I said was, like, not to give a percentage, but if you want to give a percentage, that let's say 99% of enlightenment is the unconscious becoming conscious. You have to raise your unconscious mind, and you have to give Freud credit. You have to nod to Freud. It comes from your childhood. You have, I mean, people like to diss Freud, but you have to give him credit. First of all, to begin with, he came from, before he created psychoanalysis, the thing didn't even exist. They didn't even know what it was. So the idea is that you need to get into your childhood, and as you are raising the ideas in your childhood, that is the path to enlightenment. What I was saying also in one of my proverbs is, the deeper you go, the higher you go. The deeper you go, the higher you go. So
hey, Richard, you definitely speak my language right now.
What's that?
I said you definitely speaking my language right now.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's cool. We're kindred spirits then. That's great. So I delved a lot into my own childhood, and what happened was, I mean, it just became, I'm just a very spiritual person. I've been, I just posted this poem recently on my Facebook page. Just real quick, it goes, a nighttime breeze, a starlit sky, the moon that grins above, bowing willow, shadows black, and all these things I love. I was 12 years old when I wrote that. That's pre-beautiful. And so I was always in this very beautiful place, a kind of a naturalist spirit.
Okay. And we're losing you a little bit, Richard.
And psychologists, what I was saying was, as far as why psychology needs spirituality and vice versa, is psychology can't make a statement. It can't say something. They keep saying, well, how do you feel about it? What do you think about it? And they can't make a statement. And too often spirituality says too much and makes definite statements. So the two merge together. For instance, what I have is one of the proverbs I wrote, which is a good nexus that combines spirituality with psychology, is, whatever is good for the consciousness or the emotions is right for the soul. Whatever is good for your consciousness and emotions is right for your soul. So if you do things that are frowned upon by spirituality, I mean, you eat meat, not vegetables, or you might do something sexual, let's say, to express yourself. Very important to do that. I mean, Freud said that repressed sex causes neurosis, and there's a lot of neurotics around. And so, and now psychology would advocate you expressing yourself. So I saw truths in both, and that's how I combined. My third book is Treatise of Psychic Spirituality, where I combined ideas of spirituality with psychology, and I think it works very well.
Hey, I definitely agree. So explain the name. We was talking about the name of that book, on Elements of Heaven. Why did you come along? How did you come along with that name?
Psychic Spirituality?
Well, yeah, no. The book, Elements.
The Elements
of Heaven. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's because I was saying that my first publisher. I've had actually like 4 publishers, and the woman that I was working with, who was a PhD, in the discussion we saw that the elements, the actual elements of heaven, would be love, light, and life. So I saw it as the elements of heaven. I didn't want to write. The idea is it's spiritual, not religious. It's metaphysical. It's a metaphysical thing, and that's what I was saying. And then within that, I mean, there's kind of a literary segue that the elements of heaven would be what you do with people, how you act, exploring yourself. So it's almost like a double entendre in that sense.
Okay. So when did you like sense that that you were moving into finding yourself and and exploring and more in tune with your own spirituality?
That's a very good question, actually. I actually was writing a rock opera when I was living in New York, and I was very involved with very cool people, very talented musicians, and who I'm still friends with. But I felt that when I was out with people, I wasn't being my spiritual self. I was having a hard time
Right.
being totally spiritual. And I found that it's New York, it's like you say things, you do things that are not really you. And what happened was I just left everybody for basically 10 years. And at that point, I just dedicated myself totally to gaining spirituality. And I got into a city yoga with yeah, which it's a totally non-religious thing. I studied in New York City in the 70s, and that really helped a lot. That's what Lord Shiva, and it's one of the Hindu one of the Hindu trinity. But that really helped a lot. And so I just totally got into my spirituality, but I was always aware of my own psychology. I was always aware of difficulties I had in my childhood. And in the meditation I did for basically 10 years was combining my emotional desires or emotional love with my spiritual love. And that's a tricky thing to be able to find the passion of your love, which is spiritual love. And that's why I needed to be away from everybody for a long time. And finally,
exactly.
Was that?
No, I said exactly.
Yeah, I needed, and so, but I finally did it. I finally got it together. And I spent many years trying, and it has to be totally honest. In my first book, I talk about a thing I call it cerebral osmosis, and that's that. As children, you absorb the opinions and personalities of your elders, and they're not really you. I mean, as children, we're sponges. Everything comes to us. We can't block it out.
Right. Okay, I think we're losing you, Richard. Yeah, I think we lost you a little bit. Okay.
What's that?
Okay, there you are. We had lost you. After you said as children, we are sponges. What, do you recall what you were saying after that?
Yeah, I was saying that we absorb the opinions of the people. It's not really us. I call that cerebral osmosis. Okay.
Okay.
So the first proverb in the first book is, "A whisper is louder than a shout, but to hear it, one must be truly listening."
Nice.
So that's the whispers are our true selves. And yeah. So what I did was I got into the thing. I kind of gave it an name. I called it to deculcate, because what the term is, it's to be inculcated with ideas from people, and you can't help it. And at some point you say, "That's not me. I'm not like that. That sounds like someone." And so the idea.
Okay. I think we have lost you, Richard. Okay, he's back. Okay, there he is. There he is. Okay, Richard, you're slowly coming back in. I'll let you know when I can hear you again. Okay, we will continue to stand by as you break back into the broadcast because we did lose you just a bit. Okay. All right, folks. As we continue to wait on Richard to okay, I hear him coming back in.
All right.
There you are. There you are. He's back.
The aliens beat me up for a second. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and that's absolutely fine. It's technology, and then you got the weather issue down where you are.
Yeah, there's the thunderstorms here. So
Yeah.
where did I leave off? Where did you last hear?
The whisper in the ear. You mentioned the whisper in the ear is our true selves, and and that's beautiful. Richard. I can't agree with you more.
Right. So what happened was can you hear me okay? All right.
Yeah, you're perfect.
I'm just checking. So what happened was I was hearing those things, but at the same time I was too involved with what I was doing with the music and the rock and roll, which I still love rock and roll. So I felt that I was either one or the other. I either had to go So I decided just to do it, and I went totally into understanding, listening to those whispers. But it's not just enough to hear them. You've got to act. You understand what I'm saying about
Yeah.
that?
You got to follow them. Exactly. You got to begin to follow them. Exactly.
Right, right. So I got into in the psychology. I get into like behaviorism, where you hear the whispers, and that's the voice you trust. It's your inner voice that you need to learn to trust, and then act upon what those voices are telling you. And in my second book here, I explain a different kind of meditation where you can create avenues, conscious avenues to your inner self, your inner guru. And your inner self knows better than you do. It knows you better than you do. And the idea is that in meditation, and this is kind of a psychological thing, to create a nexus whereby you can get into your inner self.
Right.
And that's the meditation. And that's in my second, like cerebral classroom for yourself, where you open pathways to your inner guru. At this point now, I mean, I am the inner guru. It's been so many years that it's second nature. And that's the other theory I have. I kind of adapted Darwin's idea of natural selection, that the less you do something, it'll go away. So the less you stop acting like someone who you're not, and the more you start behaving like someone that you are, you will spiritually evolve. And that's a basic theory. It's spiritual evolution to come to your natural self. It's a kind of a circular thing. So that, and it took a long time to explain that and work it, but I lived it. And I did it, and it works very, very well. So that's the basic idea of where it is.
Okay, Richard.
Every
Okay.
one of us. Can you hear okay?
Yeah, now I can. You're back again.
What's that?
I said you're back again.
Okay. So the philosophy I'm creating is universality, okay?
Right.
And the idea of the word is it's a combination of the universe and nature, that each and every one of us are products of the universe and nature. Therefore, we're subject to the laws of universal nature. And society is like the false god. It offers everything and delivers nothing. And people get, prisoners of society, and they think they have to have the best car, and they have to keep up with the Joneses, and they can't do this because what do the neighbors think? And they're miserable. And
Right.
Because you can't be happy like that. So the work is, I would never destroy anything. That's not the right way at all. But you transcend. But that's where I got into psychology, because that's why you have to have a psychological basis of your emotions and inner conflicts that emotionally that are resolved. So it's a lot of work, but it's better than sitting on the couch all day watching The Simpsons, I guess, huh?
I agree with you, and you really touching on some things that, like, I've really been trying to strive to create my own life, and like, where would you recommend people start if they wanted to start, adopting these principles into their life? Where would you point them in first?
Well, my work is global. I mean, it's a regular book. You can get it on .com anywhere. Barnes and Noble. It's a regularly published book. At some point, I want to teach it as a college subject. I was teaching in the University of Santa Barbara for a while, working there, and I was thinking of getting the subject taught as a college subject. It's hard to do that. I mean,
Right.
it's a new subject, but eventually that's my goal, to have universalism taught as a bona fide college subject, and that's what. And once that happens, then I can teach it. It needs to be taught. It's complicated, but it's where it was Kingdom of Truth, city be my fortress. But it's complicated, but you make it less complicated. It's like you make something better by not making it worse. And once you get into it, it makes a lot of sense, and you just keep with it. And like I said, right now, the best I can offer really is, doing shows like this, talking online, and then people buy the books to read them. I mean, I have a lot of people, I've sold a lot of books, and a lot of people are very into it. So that's the best way to do it. Amazon.com, The Elements of Heaven by R.J. Widry. You can get them there.
Okay. Great, phenomenal. Now, I had a question. I got a question. The question is, now, has there ever been a time or a period in your life, through writing these trilogies, this trilogy, that like you had some opposition coming against you, like maybe from the outside or maybe from your own self, like some
Well, yeah,
doubts, some doubting.
yes. Well, like external forces interfere with my work. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, yeah, or even if it was something within you that may have like made you hesitate at any given point. How did you deal with it?
Well, you deal with those inner conflicts as best you can. The first thing I
Right.
did was I have these kind of laws to always to be as merciful to myself as possible. I have this like thing I thought of. It's called the platinum rule. It's like do unto yourself, as you would have others do unto you. Be your own best friend. Be your own best friend, and that's important because you need the support of yourself. And I mean, with everybody messing with you, you don't need to mess with yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
And then at some point, you actually become your own parents. You become your own mother and your own father. You become the parent that you wish you had. And you nurture yourself. You nurture yourself. And sometimes what you do is you can use those experiences to write from. I remember meeting a girl one time at a bar, and she was saying that
Okay, hold on, we losing you.
she said that her experiences were in her way. So I said, put it on
Okay.
paper. Put it on paper. Take your experiences and just put that on paper. Like where you want to be, make it that way, and write it through your experiences. And one of the proverbs I have is experience is the teacher, knowledge the liberator, and wisdom the master himself. There's no substitute for experience. And in a metaphysical sense, I see experience itself as energy. Now, there's no such thing as evil energy. It's just how you use the energy. So if you learn to
Right.
use the energy of those experiences for a beneficial outcome, then you're actually you're not only defeating the enemy, you're making it your friend. Those experiences become your friend, and you grow by them.
That's very interesting, and that's probably like one of the first times I ever heard anyone, put it in that aspect that, like there's no evil energy, it's how you use it. So how do we begin to, use dark energy or energy that's considered negative?
Well, first of all, it's interesting you said that. I'm sorry about. I'm a spiritual teacher. I hear things. You said two things. You said dark energy and negative. Dark energy could be a passion. Passions are important. You have to have passions.
Right.
I have these in my first book. I have this. There's three levels: the priorities, the preferences, and the passions. You have to have your passions, and that's not negative. That's dark because it's deep. But so the idea is that you use those energies in beneficial ways. You learn to be courageous. If you feel love towards someone, you can say "I love you." A lot of people can't say that. A lot of people have a hard time saying "I love you" to somebody or expressing their emotions. And very important to be able to express your emotions and be courageous about it. And what I wrote also was that one need never feel foolish when being sincere.
Mm,
And
that's
people,
powerful.
yeah, and it takes a long time to do that. I mean, people do things sincere, like, oh my God, I was honest. What should I do? I think I'll go run and hide somewhere. But that's an important thing, right? Right? That's such an
Right.
important thing, to be supportive of yourself and to realize that, listen, okay, I'm sincere. And that's very, and that comes with with self-love and the idea of working with yourself. That's what I say, to work with yourself. And so that's very important. And also I have this thing of levels of the general, the specific, and the personal. So you develop a general understanding of things, that how you are going to act towards people, and specifically what you're going to say, and how you will personally be like that. And that's the cerebral classroom that anybody can do. It's free. I mean, so far the dream police don't exist. We're not in 1984.
Yeah.
And there aren't EMSs in your head telling you what to do. So far we're not that bad yet. We're not in Transformer land yet, right? It's transform you. It's transform you, not Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie, right?
Exactly. Yeah. There's nothing like that. We're touching exactly on what you are teaching us and giving us tonight. You're giving us some really awesome nuggets and some things we can begin to just instantly apply, and I love that. And I love the fact that you mentioned just awaken the unconsciousness in conscious level. So with that said, the next question I would have is, if there's this ability to, like hear whispers within ourselves, some would argue then, what is the need for a spiritual teacher? What do you challenge and say back to those people?
What do you say with the teach? What do you say about that? To teach what?
Yeah, some people, will argue with you that, like, well, if there's whispers in our head, and and it's our inner higher self, then what's the need for a spiritual teacher? You know,
Well,
how can you convince them
that's a good answer.
elsewise?
Socrates answered that already. Socrates says a
Yeah.
philosopher doesn't teach.
Okay, you're breaking up, Richard.
I'm not. What you're saying there is interesting. It's like, I'm not wearing robes. I don't want to be put on a pedestal. Am I still
Right.
left here? Okay. So a philosopher and a spiritual teacher, I'm just helping you to understand what you already know. Sometimes you need that extra support. I remember Sly in the Family Stone when I was in Woodstock. I think it was Woodstock, one of those concerts, was saying that, sometimes you need somebody to say, yo, it's all right. We all need someone to lean on. And that affirmation from another person saying, you know what, I thought I was right, and now you telling me that I am, that gives me help. I call that self with others. Self with others. So,
Okay.
I mean, a spiritual teacher, I mean, listen, if you want to learn math and I happen to know calculus, you would want to know calculus from me. If I've happened to spend my last 40 years working on these things, and you're just starting, then maybe I might have a little more knowledge, a little experience than you. But I'm sharing it. I'm not hiding it. So a spiritual teacher maybe is just someone who's a little bit further down the path, and you're just catching up to be yourself, right? I like to say is find yourself with me, so that we each can be our own true individual selves. I don't want you to be like me. I mean, and I don't want to be like you. What I'm looking for is people who are true selves. I think a true individual would never harm anyone. It's people who have these inner conflicts, who are not really themselves. It's not natural to want to kill someone, and it's not natural to want to kill yourself. So these things are unnatural things coming from inner conflicts. So if I can help people to work out those inner conflicts so that they find more peace and pleasure on this planet, that's wonderful.
Nice. I love it. And like I'm kind of glad. I'm more than happy that I ran into you, because I've been looking for just someone that I can reach out to. So I hope that maybe after this I can continue to connect with you, Richard, because we definitely on the same wavelength here, and we're chasing after the same. Well, I don't even call it chasing. I look more of it as we're on the same journey together, and we're hoping to just apply some of the same things, and I love where you're going.
Well, when I saw you, I was perusing the radio sites. When I saw psychology and spirituality. I'm like, you're preaching to the choir, as it were. That's what I do. So that's why I contact you right away. And that's because that is such an obvious needed connection that people couldn't quite work it out. But that's why I spent so many years. Between the second book and the third book was almost a decade. I finished the second book, which were formulas for meditation, but I knew I needed the third book, and that took me the other decade to finish the third book, because that was psychic spirituality. I had to complete the idea of where I could combine with the spiritual, and that took a long time. That I just finished it recently, and that's why I'm doing radio now. I was being under the radar before.
Okay.
But
Awesome.
Yeah, and also, that's a funny thing that you should say about that. Why do I need a spiritual teacher? I think that I can hear a lot in that. It's kind of like a lot of spiritual, they pontificate, which is an interesting word, to pontificate, and I'm more righteous than thee. I mean, that's like, go away, take your righteousness and leave me alone. But
Yeah.
And I don't like
Absolutely.
that. Really. I mean, what I wrote also was that humility is a savior of the meek and the brave. You've got to remain humble. You've got to remain humble. And the idea is that, I'm seeking to help people. I mean, it's not something that I'm just saying to pontificate, if you will. But it's interesting that you said that, because that speaks a lot to a lot of the current things, because the quote unquote established religious organizations and now have become suspect, and a lot of times now people are like, they don't trust you if you say you're religious, right? And so I'm saying, but I think that you have to develop friendship first,
Right.
and to be friends with the person, and not to be on a higher plane or to be on a pedestal. And what I wrote was that respect is the doorman unto love. Respect is the doorman unto love. To respect one another. You are not going to accept words from someone that you neither respect nor feel love for. So, that's
wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, that's and also the funny thing I wrote that you can't break into someone's house and fix their TV. You have to wait till they call the cable guy.
Yeah.
So I can't. So I have to wait. If you call me, I mean, hopefully I know what I say. Okay, yeah, I can work with you, but I can't break into your house and fix your TV. That's against laws of the universe and nature. So, but if you feel like you want to learn from me, I'm there. That's what I do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. Man, I just appreciate you so much. You truly are a blessing coming on here tonight and just taking time out of your busy schedule. We're drawing close to time here. So, like, if individuals wanted to contact you personally, what would be the best way to do that?
Well, my email, I don't hide that. My email, do you have that there?
We don't have it showing up here on the screen, but.
Well, I'm on Facebook. As Richie Widry on Facebook, Richie. And the reason I'm Richie Widry is because I was there as Richard, and then I lost my password and I could never get it back. So I had to make I had to come as a different person. They wouldn't let me get my password.
Okay.
So
wow.
Yeah, but anyhow, and also I guess if you went to Facebook and my email, I guess majeman999@gmail.com. Majeman majeman999@gmail.com. I'm not shy, If I don't, I don't mind things. I'm from New York. Very little bothers me.
Yeah, I like that. All right, Richard. So like, you got these books, amazing books that people ought to pick up. Is there a particular one, that they can start at and read first, or should they just start from the very beginning and work their way up, or does it matter?
No, you know what? It's not. It's not like the program 24 where you have to follow where Jack Bauer's been. You can start just about anywhere. And the first book, it had a lot more poetry to it. And in the first book, I hadn't introduced yet univernitism, the actual philosophy. The first book is basically a lot of poetry, and basically, I think my first book is saying that to learn to be creative and not causal. People try to cause and affect things. It doesn't work. You can't. The idea is to be creative and not try to control things, not try to control outcomes.
Right.
In it, I say that you are not in control of anything ever, and you never can be. And people are constantly trying to control things.
People,
you are not
yeah, they really do.
You are not in control of anything ever, and you never can be. And they're like, oh yeah, well, I'll prove it. And then they spend their lives trying to control things until they figure out, you know what, none of this worked. So in the book, I talk about being creative. And that was one of my proverbs is a fine line separates a world of difference. A fine line separates a world of difference. And there's a fine line between being creative and being causal, but it's a world of difference. Yeah. And in you, there's a natural, in everyone, there's a natural creativity. I mean, my creativity is poetry. Someone else's creativity might be music, art, cooking. And everyone has, that I feel is a basic aspect of all human nature and all people. We all have a certain type of creativity. And that to use the creativity instead of the causality. Don't try to cause and affect things. Try to create something.
Nice. I like that. Wow. You know, I mean, I didn't took so many notes here. I'm all over the place. You know, you offer so much today, and like, you know, I really appreciate it, and I'm sure the audience will too, and especially many of the replay viewers. Like it's a question that I always ask all of the guests that come on. You know, and it's, you know, being that it's election season right now. You know,
right.
You're right.
We're not going there. We're not going to politics. No, we're not doing that. Not now. Actually, though, I do have a very interesting. I read things for quatrains, a lot of quatrains that I want to put in the posters. You know, 4-line poems. And there is a quatrain I wrote. It goes on.
No, I have any whatsoever. Hold on, Richard. You're breaking up. Richard, we're losing you.
Am I back?
Okay. Yep. You're back now.
Yeah. One of these interesting 4-line poems I wrote was when the body of Congress bruises in a battle of partisan rhetoric, the entity that loses is America's body politic. The body politic is the people of America. So they're all fighting and we're losing. And it's, you know, so, but that's as far as the politics I'm going. I'm going nowhere. That's where I stop there.
Well, I mean, what you just said alone is just powerful, and you know, and really, you know, the truth. You know, you speak the truth, and you know, like you know, I really appreciate your humility and just your service to people here, and your willingness to just help transform some lives, and you know, really put people on their way. You know, we're definitely going to have you back in the future here. You know,
I hope so. Yeah. One last thing, my book starts. The third book starts with a very interesting thing. I like. It goes, wouldn't it be great if the world was so good nobody wanted to change it?
Exactly.
That's what I want to get to. No, man, it's good the way it is. We're good. You know, that's where I like to get to. If the world was so good nobody wanted to change it.
Man.
All right.
Exactly. It won't be nothing. Yeah. Like there. You just simply exist then, you know?
Yeah, and you know what I wrote at the end of my second book, I wrote, the secret of life is to enjoy it. Therefore, the meaning of existence is to learn how. The secret of life is to enjoy it. Because once you're enjoying life, you're good. You don't have, you know, but it's when you're not enjoying life, then you start worrying, and you start, when you're happy, you don't think of why I'm happy, you just are happy.
Yeah,
when
you're happy.
You think, right? It just happens. A kid doesn't think about why he's happy. He's just happy until the mother slaps him and says, "Don't do that," you know. And then he's not happy anymore. But when you're happy, so that's the idea. The secret of life is to enjoy it. Therefore, the meaning of existence is to learn how. And if I can help people to learn how to enjoy life, then that makes me happy.
Absolutely. Well, we greatly appreciate you, Richard. You know, you definitely been a joy to this program, and
Thank you so much.
we're gonna stay
Thank you so much.
connected with you.
What's
Yeah,
that?
I said we're gonna definitely stay connected. Did you catch that?
What'd you say? What's that?
I said we're definitely gonna stay connected.
You're going to help me back again. Is that what you said?
We're gonna stay connected.
You're going to say, I'm not catching that really.
No, it's okay. I said we're gonna stay connected.
You're going to stay connected. Ah, yes. I got, yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you got my email. Definitely, man. Definitely, you know. And come down Galveston. You like to fish? I love to fish.
Oh yeah, I'm a fish guy. You know, I don't eat any other meat but fish.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I lived in the Florida Keys for a while. I live on a lake right now. I live in a apartment complex that's right on a lake. I go out my back door right to the dock, and I go fishing my back outside. So yeah, we'll hang out definitely, and we'll talk more. And you know, but the thing is, on my end, you know, you say would someone need a spiritual teacher? Well, I need you. You have, you know, you have the access to the public, and I need to get the word out. So if someone needs a spiritual teacher needs marketing, needs someone who to help them get the word out. And so I need you
That's
too.
true.
It's good, you know. So that's important. So I'm very pleased that you accepted me, and I'm very pleased that you responded to my work so well. And I'm glad to be here. And because I feel that, you know, I can't reach people just from a phone call. So I need to get to the media, and I love this. This is really cool.
Nice. I'm glad you love it, and I'm glad you had an awesome time, Richard. You know,
Oh,
so
it's great.
yeah, we're gonna get ready to end here. You know, so with that said, you know, audience, those who out there listening, all the replay viewers who's gonna replay this and be able to follow it over and over and over again, and just be able to just digest and really savor on this great information that Richard has provided to us and just blessed us with. Make sure you get connected with Richard right away. Stay connected with us as well. Join our community of worldly experts, just like Richard. He's my new big brother, and me and him going to be hanging out real soon. We're going to go, get some fish, and we, and just exchange vibes, and I'm going to continue to just support him in what he's doing as he continues to support us. So come on down to transformubroadcast.com. That's transform the letter U broadcast.com. It's totally free to get signed up and joined in. You'll find the recording of this show there. You can also follow us on YouTube and track this show. And definitely get connected with Richard and many of our other friends, and bring your friends along too, because that's what it's all about: sharing and exchanging positive vibes and all the
Absolutely.
love. Yeah, absolutely. So until next time, many blessings, peace, and love to each and every one of you guys. You guys have a wonderful night, and join us in just a little bit here for our next segment coming up here at 12 p.m. Oh, excuse me, 12 a.m. midnight Central Standard Time. All right. All right. Take care, Richard.
Peace always, man. It's been a pleasure. We'll do this again, okay, bro?
Most definitely. Peace on to you, brother.
Okay, man.
All right.
Night now.